doing the
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Congregation Beth Israel. For some of you, it may be your first time, and for some of you, it may be the 1,000th time. We welcome you, and we are here to celebrate this afternoon the bar mitzvah of Trevor Kosan. We are so grateful because he's an integral part of our community and brings with him a lot of music and joy. Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, and we are here with Heidi Gantwerk and Andy Mayer. They are all part of Trevor's life and his musical aspirations here, maybe as a Erev Cantor, and even, before the Cantorate or the Rabbinate, or just to sing in choir, and we're grateful. There are people online, so I would like for you to turn around and wave at the camera in the back wall. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom so that we can create a whole community online and in person. We hope that you have our Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. If you don't, they're in the foyer. Most of the prayers will be online and be on the screens. And if you are online, you will have everything that you need on your screens. So we begin today, Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, how wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שברחים גם יחד 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 הנה מה טוב גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים אוי 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 שברחים גם יחד שברחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שברחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים 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 שברחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שברחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שברחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שברחים גם יחד.
You may notice that some of us in our congregation today are wearing a talit. A talit is a prayer shawl. The commandment comes from the Torah that we should be mindful of all of the mitzvot on the fringes of our garments. And some people just wear the tzitzit, the four cornered knots that are wrapped and tied in such a way as to remind us of the 613 mitzvot, the 613 commandments, the 613 times in the Torah God speaks to us and says, this is something very important to me that you do. And what's important about a talit are those fringes, not how old it is, how worn and tattered, how bright its colors, what material it's made of, what shape it is. The fringes are what's important because they're going to take the person who's wearing it and remind them of all of the mitzvot. And so we call up Richard and Risa Kosan, along with Trevor, as they present him with his talit that he will wear today.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Trevor, I am so proud and honored that you chose the path that brought you here today. Your dad and I decided we were going to raise you with both faiths and traditions and let you determine if either one was a fit for you. Somewhere along the way, you connected with Judaism. I often wondered why. Was it because of all those PJ library books that you read over and over and over and over again? Or was it the holidays with extended family, maybe lighting your special menorah? Then recently it dawned on me, you embody what it means to live Torah. Some of the core values of Torah, as you know, are compassion, peace, human dignity, and respecting Mother Earth. That's you in a nutshell. I first noticed your love of nature when you were a baby. You were fascinated with the moon, maybe even a little obsessed. Your dad and I thought it was really weird at the time, like maybe I gave birth to a werewolf or something, but it makes sense to me now. If the moon would disappear behind a cloud, you would cry until it reappeared again. This happened a few times until I guess you realized that it was always going to return. You often commented when the moon appeared in the afternoon sky. Many people don't even notice. Most critters that enter our home get a second chance at life because of you. You don't think twice about relocating spiders or those big mosquito things that are always flying around. And you take great joy in saving lizards and an occasional hummingbird that flies in. One of my greatest joys is to watch you admire nature's beauty, whether it's a sunset, the different colors in the ocean, or an unusual bug. But your kindness goes beyond Mother Nature. You also show incredible empathy for people. One afternoon, I picked you up from preschool, and your teacher asked me to watch you interact with a new student that had arrived that day. You two were playing in the sandbox and smiling. It seemed pretty typical to me. Then she told me that student didn't speak English, and you were the only kid in class that befriended him. As you grew older, you became more aware of the people in the community who were less fortunate. You offer your food to homeless people and frequently remind me to carry cash in the car in case we happen upon someone in need. So even though today is about accepting the Torah and its teachings into your life, you've already really done that. But this day is also about family, friends, and community. This may be a Jewish celebration, but I guarantee you that our non-Jewish family and friends are just as proud of you and are here today in person and virtually to support you. You have already been through some challenges in your young life, and in spite of that, you are standing here today. That should tell you something. You are braver and stronger than you realize and can accomplish great things when you set your mind to it. Just know that Dad and I and our entire community are rooting for you and will always be here for you. I love you.
Trevor, my sweet, bright, artistic, funny, caring, loving son. It seems so long ago when you came to us on New Year's Eve 2009 and changed our lives forever. Based on your arrival with only 8 hours left in the year, you quickly became known as Mom and Dad's little tax deduction. But you were much more than that, and our lives were quickly consumed with meeting the needs of this mostly happy, inquisitive little life form. Our sole purpose in the first few weeks after your arrival was keeping you alive. As we were speed reading Caring for Baby books and trying to keep our grumpy dog at the time from devouring you. There was life before Trevor and then after, and the level of joy we experienced as parents paled in comparison to our lives pre-baby. Those first years were challenging, but I wouldn't trade them for anything, and you scrambled through infancy and then preschool and kindergarten, pretty much like you own the place. The primary school grades were a blur, and the holiday concerts, ball games, birthday parties were amazing. Watching you learn and grow and thrive over the years has meant the world to us. As the child has become a young man, new challenges have presented themselves. Now trying to keep up with you at one of your current passions, high-speed roller coasters, has led to new parental challenges and sometimes a little nausea. But your mom and I still do it and love it. But on a more serious note, in your relatively short life, you've accomplished much. Your hard work in school has been recognized. Like your parents, you have a true love of music, but in spite of your parents, you actually have talent in that area. Both in learning trumpet and through your singing in school, and now in the temple choir, where you've helped out with weekly services and brought joy to all that attend. You've come so far. I'm particularly proud of your decision to work toward becoming a bar mitzvah. In just the last couple of years, you fast-tracked your Jewish studies and learning Hebrew and have come to know the tenets of Judaism just as generations of your family have done before you, which brings you to this important and proud day. I know that at times I've had small disagreements with you on your insistence that anime and graphic novels are in fact literature, or that YouTube is in itself an art form, but you know, you're doing it your way, and I absolutely respect that. I can speak for our whole family in that we're very proud of the young man that you've become. Not only am I proud of what you've done so far in these 13 short years on the planet, but I'm really excited about what the future holds for you. You've shown a willingness to be different and take risks in life, and that, my son, will serve you well in the future. Your kindness towards other humans and the loving treatment of animals are just a couple of the wonderful attributes of who you are. My primary message to you today is for you to know that your mom and I will always have your back. We'll be there to celebrate all your victories in life and your accomplishments with you. We'll continue to encourage you to follow your passions and never forget the importance of helping to serve others and leave this world a better place than you found it. I know you will, Trevor. I'm so happy to share this moment and this day with you and with all our family and friends, but most importantly, I'm so proud to be your dad.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, and my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I can sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love the dreams of peace and joy that illuminate all of us, and to bring that vision to life. We pray responsibly on the Psalms of Ashrei on page 220. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od hallelujah selah.
Ashrei ha'am shekach lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav.
Tehillah leDavid, eremimcha Elochai hamelech, ve'varcha shimcha le'olam va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchecha, ve'halela shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai umhulal meod, v'gdulato ein heiker.
Dor ledor yeshabach ma'asecha, u'gvurotecha yagidu.
Hadar kivod chodecha, v'divrei niflotecha aseach.
Ve'zuz norotecha yomeru, u'gdulatecha asaprena.
Zecher rav tuvcha yabiu, v'divrachatecha yareinu.
Chanun berachum Adonai, erech apayim ugdol chesed.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'arvachav al kol ma'asav.
Yotuv Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidtecha yivarchucha.
Kivod malhutecha yomeru, uvartecha yijaberu.
Leodia livnei hadam gvurotav, uchvod hadar malchuto.
Malhutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor vador.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, v'zokef lechol hakfufim.
Enechol elecha yisaberu, Liata noten lehem et ochlam beito.
Poteach et yadecha, u'masbia lechol chai ratzon.
Tzadik Adonai bechol derachav, v'chasid bechol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Ritzon yireyav yaseh, v'et shavatam yishma ve'oshieng.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol harshayim yashmid.
Tchilat Adonai yidaber pi, v'yivarei kol basar shem kodesho le'olam va'ed.
V'anachnu nivarech Yah, me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah.
Please turn to page 227. Oh God, prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Please rise if you are able for our tefillah on page 226.
Adonai, sevatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sevatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh Hakol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayev Kol Atah Ra Ve'Hoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofeh Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua B'ne'eman Atal Hachayot Hakol Baruch atah Adonai מחיי הטוב.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמך מרום, כך כתוב אל יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר,
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו.
אדיר אדורנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גואלך, ונצח נצחים קדושתך נדגיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please turn to page 233. Please turn to page 233. And who is wise? The one who learns from everyone. Who is mighty? One who controls one's urges. And who is rich? One who is happy with what one has. Please turn to page 235. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise. For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We read responsively on page 237. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest,
holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah.
Let us feed on the love of goodness, and let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat,
May we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Please turn to page 239. for the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and who we might and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts, we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion,
sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'el le'od. We join together in Shalom Rav on page 240. I would like to call up Ari, Zach, Anna, Natalie, Maya, and Jackson.
Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tassi le'olam. Shalom Rav al Israel Amcha Tassi le'olam. Ki ata
Please take a moment for silent prayer.
Jewish tradition teaches that when Moses ascended Mount Sinai, he not only received the twin tablets of the Ten Commandments, but indeed he received the entirety of Torah. And the rabbis understand Torah not just as the 5 books of Moses, the first 5 books of the Bible, but in truth, it's the entirety of Jewish knowledge, of Jewish learning, of Jewish customs. Everything from how Rashi, the medieval commentator, would interpret the first letters of Torah, all the way to how we light our Shabbat candles. This too is Torah. And so in a moment, we are going to call up Trevor and his family, and they will pass the Torah through the generations of his family and into his arms. And as they do so, we understand that that is a tradition, and what they are passing into his hands is not just this particular physical Torah, but the entirety of Torah, all the way back to Moses on Mount Sinai. After we offer some prayers, Trevor will take the Torah into the congregation. It is our custom at Beth Israel that if you're wearing a talit, you can reach out and touch the Torah, or with your prayer book, to touch that and give it a kiss, or some people choose to bow towards the Torah. Seder Kriyat Torah can be found on page 246. We invite you to please rise as you're able as we call up Dale, Neil, Risa, and Richard, and Trevor.
Adonai
This morning, when we read Torah, we began a new book, the book of Bamidbar, in the desert or in the wilderness. And Trevor will teach us a little bit about that, and in addition, his Parsha, Naso, which is beautiful for me in a way because years ago, it was my portion as a bat mitzvah. And although I wasn't privileged to read from Torah, we shared the Haftarah, the concluding portion of the service, and it just has given me great pleasure to listen to Trevor chant and learn this parasha. This is about the Nazarites. And the Nazarites were people who gave of themselves to serve the congregation. So in some ways, you're already in service, although we did let you cut your hair, and we didn't ask you to stop drinking, although I don't know that you're drinking at all. But those are some of the things that the Nazarites proclaimed for themselves to be in service to the Levites and to the temple, and to keep away from certain things. So Trevor will be teaching much more about this. And we have now aliyot. An aliyah is an ascension. We have people that will come up, members and friends, members of his family and friends, to honor the Torah.
For our first aliyah, we call to the Torah Alex Leachman and Jay Leachman. Ya'amdu Aharon Nisan ben Yichiel Dovu Dvora Yosef ben Yichiel Dovu Dvora Harishon.
Baruch Adonai Haborah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'daber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem ish o isha. Ki afli lindor neder nazir l'chazir l'Adonai miyayin v'shechar yazir hometz yayin v'hometz shechar lo yishteh v'chomishrat anavim lo yishteh v'anavim lachin v'veshim lo yochel.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Hayei Olam Nata Betochenu Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For our second aliyah, we call on Sam Leachman, Rebecca Leachman, Celia Leachman, Benjamin Leachman, Lucy Graham, and Lucy Graham. Yamdu Shlomo Ruvain ben Aharon Nisan, Ruth bat Aharon Nisan, Kolchava bat Yosef, Baruch David ben Yosef, Leah bat Devorah, Hasheni.
Baruch Adonai Hamgorah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Kol yamei nizro mikol asher ya'aseh migefen hayayim mehartzanim ve'ad lo yochel kol yamei neder nizro ta'ar lo ya'avor al rosho ad melot hayamim asher yazir ladonai kadosh yeh godel peras sa'ar rosho kol yamei haziro ladonai al nefesh meit lo yavo.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. For our third aliyah, we call to the Torah Richard and Risa Kosan and Dale Leachman. Ya'amdu Ruth bat Devora v'Yechiel Dov, Devora bat Shuel v'Ruth Hashlishi.
Baruch et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Le'aviv ul'imo, le'ahiv ul'ahoto, lo yitama lehem bemotam, ki nezer Elohav al rosho. Kol yamei nizro, kadosh hu ladonai, v'chiyamut meit alav, v'feta pitom, v'timei rosh nizro, v'gila rosho, beyom torato, beyom hashvi'i galheinu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Go back down. Let's stay on. Yeah, you can have if you want. Okay.
For our fourth and final aliyah, we call to the Torah officially as a bar mitzvah, Trevor Maxwell Kosan. Ya'amod, 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 Timur Matan ben Ruth, Bachur habar mitzvah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Uvayom hashmini yavi shetei torim, o shenei b'nei Yonah, el hakohen, el petach, o el moed. V'asa hakohen, echa lehatat, ve'ha le'olah, v'hiper alav, me'asher hata, al hanafesh, v'kidash et rosho, be'yom hahu. V'hizir ladonai et yamei nizro, v'timei v'hevi keves ben sanato le'asham v'hayamim harishonim yiplu ki tomei nizro v'zot torat hanazir beyom melot yamei nizro yavi oto el petach o el moed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. And at this profound moment, we offer a blessing of thanksgiving, Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu הזמן הזה. Together as we call on Richard Kosan, Paul and Barbara Marks, and Alex Hershey to lift and dress the Torah. Yamdu Hamagbiya v'Hakolelim. V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei Each Shabbat, as Rabbi Bernstein mentioned, each Shabbat, in addition to the Torah reading, we offer a reading from the section of prophets. The reading for Parshat Naso comes from the book of Judges, and it describes the encounters of the unnamed wife of Manoah and Manoah himself with an angel of God. In the first instance, an angel appears to Manoah's wife and tells her that he is aware of her infertility, but that she will have a son and must from now on abstain from wine, intoxicants, and impure food, a little ahead of time. Additionally, the son will be a Nazirite. The woman shares this prophecy with Manoah, and he prays to meet the man so he can ask for instruction regarding raising the boy. In the second instance, the angel appears a second time and final time to Manoah's wife, who runs to get Manoah. The angel reiterates the prohibitions for Manoah's wife. She then gives birth to Samson. Traditionally, the pairing of this Haftarah reading with Parshat Naso is described as being based on the description of the Nazirite vow process in the Torah portion. However, there are other themes and connections. The pain and sadness of infertility are recurrent topics. Fertility is seen as a reward for faith in God.
The most widely known element of this parsha is the priestly blessing, which seeks God's blessing upon the people, graciousness, and shalom. The Hebrew word shalom is often translated as peace. However, the root of the word also means wholeness and completeness. In the story told in the Haftarah reading, the birth of their son creates a sense of wholeness for Manoah and his wife. It represents the fulfillment of God's blessing, which is why we use these words to bless our children on Shabbat. As Trevor reads his Torah portion, he will frame it in blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar binvim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah uv-Moshe avdo uv-Yisrael amo uv-Vinviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayera malach Adonai el ha'isha vayomer elecha hine na'at akara v'lo yaladet v'harit v'yaladet ben ve'ata hishamrina ve'al tishti yain v'shechar ve'al tochli kol tomei ki hinachara ve'aladet ben umora lo ya'alei al rosho ki nazir Elohim yeh chanar min habaten vehu yochel le'ashriya et Yisrael miyad plishti. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yaseh ha'bataber u'makayem she'kol devorav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh Shnatan tan lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha v'lemenucha le'avod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la unvarchim ota yisbarach shimcha befit kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
To help us return the Torah to the Ark, we call upon Leslie and Steve Hershey to open our Ark. I invite the congregation to please rise.
It's Chaim Hi Lamachatikim Va V'tocheh
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to thank you all for coming to my bar mitzvah at Congregation Beth Israel. My Torah portion, Naso, is from the book of Numbers. In Hebrew, Bamidbar means in the desert or wilderness. This was the setting of the journey of the Jewish people from Egypt to Israel, the Promised Land. The difficulties of this 40-year journey were centered on the transition between slavery and freedom. When most of the Israelites were in this transition, they were divided into groups by families to organize themselves and find their unique purpose in life. Unlike the rest of the Israelites, the Levites were a tribe who had been instructed by Moses to watch over the tabernacle, and who acted as judges and lawmakers. Rava, one of the rabbis, encouraged the Jewish people to open themselves up to others and to God in the wilderness of the desert in order for God to give them Torah. We learn that change is not easy, and it can be difficult to make decisions, even if it appears to be a piece of cake. For example, it seems obvious to us that the best choice between being a slave in Egypt and a free person in Israel would be freedom, right? But that's not how the Jews felt at first. As slaves in Israel, they were used to being told what to do and how to do it, what to wear, what to eat, etc. They didn't need to make any decisions for themselves, and their food and shelter were provided for them. On the flip side, freedom was scary. Freedom had risks. No one was protecting you. You had to find your own food and shelter and make your own decisions in life. While wandering in the harsh environment of the desert was challenging, the open landscape served to allow the Israelites to think about big life decisions. Through the experience, they were able to further find the meaning of their lives as people and as a Jewish community while getting closer to God. The Israelites learned to open themselves up to receive God's teachings in the form of Torah. Something I've learned about my own life that is similar is that if I'm open-minded and if I listen to others, I can learn a lot more. I can then form my own opinions about what makes sense to me. The Israelites found success by opening their minds and hearts, which allowed God to reward them with wisdom and the teachings of Torah. Jewish tradition teaches us that we need to be an example by living and teaching Torah in everything we do. It teaches us to live our lives well and in a way that helps others and helps the world. How does a person know when they have achieved Torah? Well, you can never really stop achieving Torah because it is a never-ending process where you help others, no matter what. As I began to learn the Torah portion, I wondered why it took so long for the Israelites to get to Israel. 40 years, I looked it up, and the distance was about 118 miles. And that should have taken weeks, not years. But it appeared God had other plans because he was concerned that if the most direct route was dangerous, then the Jewish people would reconsider and return to Egypt. I can relate to this concept as I face a struggle where I've been reluctant to try something new due to the fear of failure and being forced out of my comfort zone. I decided that about 2 years ago, I wanted to have a bar mitzvah. But when I learned of the process and the commitment, I had to think hard about it. But I obviously decided to go forward. At the same time, I was heading into middle school, yet another scary experience for me. Both of these situations, for the most part, have been easier than I thought. I believe they can make me stronger, more confident, and more resilient. I realized the similarities between the wandering of the Israelites and becoming a bar mitzvah. While the Israelites were Bamidbar, or in the desert, they were in the process of being released from slavery to becoming free people. This is similar to becoming a bar mitzvah because I am in the midst of becoming an adult from a child. I am neither a child nor an adult, but in between, as were the Israelites while they were wandering. This process, while difficult, has allowed me to grow and thrive like I can never have without these challenges. These include taking on the responsibilities of studying for my bar mitzvah. Through this process, I have learned that even though I've been working so hard for my bar mitzvah and accomplished so much, this is not the final preparation for adulthood. There will be many more challenges to overcome and lessons to learn. Although the Jewish people wandered for 40 years to get to Israel, they had to overcome many obstacles. And their journey is not over either. They continue to fight to keep their land and freedom. Because there is no finish line, this is a journey that will last a lifetime, a journey to learn, grow, and help others. And now for the fun part. I'd like to give out a few words of thanks before we conclude the service. I would like to thank Cheryl Katz for being an awesome tutor. She would always start the meeting with a nice hi, and was really encouraging. I would also like to thank Rabbi Navarez, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. for welcoming my family to the congregation and assuring me that he had my back throughout this entire process. Next, Rabbi Cantor Bernstein, for helping me choose my portions and explain the entire order of things. I look forward to our meetings. You have a great sense of humor. And there's Rabbi Gimbel, who would end each Tuesday with some nice music as well as watch the youth and teen choir fight over the big chairs on Sundays. He welcomed me into the youth and teen choir with minimal exposure to Hebrew at that point. He also encouraged me to dig deep to find my personal meaning in my speech. And your laugh is the best, by the way. Thank you to all the rabbis. I would like to thank Jessica, Charlotte, Raphael, and Maura Emily, who all brought joy to the classrooms, camps, and youth events. They made me super excited to go to temple each week. I would not be standing up here without their wisdom and patience. A big shout out to Andy and Heidi, who make a beautiful sound in the synagogue. I'm honored to have you all here with me today. Thanks to all my friends and family for making school and temple so much fun and helping me along the way, especially my parents. You gave me 100% of your support when I decided that I wanted to have a bar mitzvah. And you were always there to remind me to practice. Though sometimes I may have complained, it was well worth it in the end. This Shabbat, may we continue to learn, grow through these transitions together. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
I could tell that it didn't matter what anyone else said, you were going to be thinking about fixing that for the rest, so we had to make sure that that was there. Trevor, Mazel Tov. I say that to you. I'm just, I'm just your rabbi. Mazel Tov, really. Some words that Rabbi Navarez unfortunately couldn't be here this Shabbat, but he wanted us to share these words to you. Hi, Trevor. That's him speaking, not me, just so we're clear. Our theater-going, tennis-playing, jazz band trumpeter. I'm so sorry I cannot be there with you as you become bar mitzvah this day, but I can certainly be there I am certainly with you here in spirit and in celebration. I have no doubt you've led a most beautiful service today. Your energy is warm and kind, and your participation in leadership in choir is both important and greatly appreciated. You embody so much of what it means to become bar mitzvah, and to stand up for what you believe in. My hope and my prayer is that you continue to be your true, authentic self. We all look forward to sharing many more special and sacred moments with you and watch your journey as you continue to be a leader in our community. Mazel Tov. So I also wanted to implore you to heed the words of another famous rabbi, and that is Rabbi Ferris Bueller. Life moves pretty fast. Take this moment to look out at your community. It's okay. We have nowhere else to be. You can look at them some more. This is hard for you to slow down. I know. But know that this is a room of your biggest cheerleaders who have your back because you are someone who is deserving. I've seen you mentor our incredible students in the youth and teen choir, and the truth is you have sustained both the souls and the tummies of our choir members by helping your mom cook our lunches on Sunday mornings, so thank you for that. But the truth is that you do so much more. You are a deep thinker. I got to see that firsthand, where you mentioned something in an early draft, and I said, really? And you said, yeah, maybe not. And you really had to think about it, and you did. And what came out of your teaching was just so beautiful. And when I think about you, Trevor, I actually think of the polar opposite of a Nazirite. Because a Nazirite is a person who is set apart, who can't do this and that, and kind of isolates themselves from society. You are the opposite. You jump in with 2 feet. And most importantly, you show up. You are a mainstay of our community. You are here all the time. And you don't just show up physically, you show up emotionally, you show up spiritually. You show up in the interactions that you have with your classmates, with your fellow choir members, with the adults, with everyone that you encounter. You show up. My hope and my prayer for you on this day is that you understand that you have indeed achieved some Torah today. You're right that it is an ongoing process. You're going to continue learning all these things. But on this day, in this moment, know that you are worthy of the blessings that all of us feel for you, because we are so excited to see how you are going to transform our world. So, I'm going to ask Rabbi Bernstein to come up, and we're going to offer you a blessing, which is also found in your Torah portion, the priestly blessing. Stand here and face out.
Trevor, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face shine upon you with radiance and with grace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face literally be lifted up to you and give you the most important blessing we have, that of peace. Together we all say, Amen.
Amen. Would you like some presents?
Sure.
Great. I'd like to invite Lori Shearer, a member of our board of directors, to present Trevor with some gifts.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
I learned so much from you today. Thank you for that. Trevor, it's an honor and a delight for me to be here to celebrate with you and your family on this meaningful day. It has been a pleasure getting to know you and your family this past year or so. Thank you for sharing your beautiful singing voice with our youth choir. In our youth choir, your musical expressiveness of your voice lifts us up during services and is a generous gift to the congregation. And so is your warm smile. And the way you brought some silly fun to the Purim Carnival while you kindly volunteered to help the younger kids enjoy the day. Boy, are we lucky to have you in our Beth Israel family. Now, I do have some gifts to present to you, and this is from your synagogue community. First is the certificate of bar mitzvah that you signed along with your parents and the clergy, noting the privileges and responsibilities of becoming bar mitzvah. From the women of Beth Israel, a Kiddush cup and candlestick holders, may you use these very special and sacred items in your home to welcome Shabbat and other special holidays and milestones. A tree has been planted in Israel in honor of your bar mitzvah, and this gift certificate from NIFTY will help you go on a NIFTY organized trip to Israel when you are older. And finally, from the Men's Club, the book on the doorposts of your house. May this book serve as a useful resource as you begin this next chapter of Jewish living. Mazel tov to you, Trevor, and your parents, Risa and Richard, grandparents, Bubby, aka Dale, and Neil. We know this is just the beginning of your Jewish journey, and your Beth Israel family looks forward to having you as an active contributor to our community, and we are here to support you. Mazel tov.
We begin to conclude our service by turning to Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282. I invite you to please rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, Latet Gedula Liotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoyei Ha'aratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem, V'goralenu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Koreim U'mishtachavim U'modim Livnei Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch standing as we turn to page 294 and we prepare for Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. We think of those who are in our hearts, although they are not with us physically. Trevor, we're especially mindful of all those in your family, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be a blessing. As we join together, page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma tivrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayed chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shemei Kudsha Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'miran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories ever continue to inspire and be for blessing, as together we say,
Amen.
We join together in our closing song on page 321, Adon Olam. We invite you to clap, sing, Yai Lai Lai, wonderfully appropriate words as we join together.
We transition from this beautiful service to a smaller one, and it's called Havdalah. Havdalah literally is a separation. So I would like to invite Risa and Richard to come and join us, and Trevor. Havdalah employs all of our senses. Last night we lit candles and we drank wine. We have today wine. We have a candle that's braided, and this candle, as opposed to guard and remember, this is all of us together. God, Torah, the people of Israel, and the world. The spices also lift us up so that we can remind ourselves of the joy of Shabbat and that will carry us into the next week.
Hine el Yeshuati Eftach lelo eftach Ki ozi bezimrat Adonai Vayehi li Yeshua Ushaftem hayim besasor
Are the words.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול, עתותינו למחול. שרינו וחסדנו ירבק הכל, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, 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 שבוע טוב. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi, Imera ve'yameinu, Yavo eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Agiladi.
We say Shavua Tov and Mazel Tov.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakilad, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakilad. Bimhera oyavo eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach ben David. Bimhera oyavo eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach ben David. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakilad, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakilad. Bimhera oyavo eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach ben David. Bimhera oyavo eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach ben David.